Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I am bringing you another battle from my Total War Rome 2 subscriber tournament. We are still in the first round. You guys have seen 2 matches so far, and there are 8 total in the first round. I've got 3 more here, and today we're going to be looking at Dixiedog89 versus Corburllo. And Dixiedog's going to be playing as Epirus and Corburllo as Egypt. And if I pronounced either of your names wrong, sorry about that. But you guys can see here, this is a more desert-like map. The other 2 battles we've seen so far, one was in dense forest, and the other one was pretty much flat ground, but both of them were in the snow. So you can see both of these guys here going with more pike-based armies. This is Corburllo, sorry, on the right, and Dixiedog on the left here. They've got their Hellenic Royal Guard, and I believe that's what the spearmen are called for both of these factions here. You can see Dixiedog's going with slingers instead of archers here for his skirmishing base, and Corburllo obviously here has the archers and some of the nice peltist units. And yeah, yep, Hellenic Royal Guard. So he's got 5 of these guys, that's including his general, 2 Hoplite units. This is Dixiedog again, playing as Epirus. 3 mercenary Rhodian slingers, and he's got way more cavalry. He's got a Hellenic Royal Guard cavalry, I believe 2 of them, and 2 Aspis companion cavalry. And these guys are split out to be 1 of each on either flank there. So you can see overhead of the map how they're moving forward. And over here, this is Corburllo here, and he's also got the Hellenic Royal Guard, and he also has 5 of them up front. He's got 2 thorough spear units. There those guys are. So they're kind of like a Hoplite unit, but not the same. And then he's got the Royal Peltists on either flank and his 2 Egyptian archer units. And aside from that, he's got 1 cavalry unit here. This is a Ptolemaic cavalry. And those guys are very similar to the companion cavalry and these Hellenic Royal Cavalry, which are stationed here in their shiny armor. And real quickly, while I'm thinking of it, while nothing's really going on, you can see Epirus here, Dixiedog, taking up a more defensive stance already in pike formation. They've got their battle line drawn out there. The Egyptian cavalry here is trying to make a move. They actually use their trample, which isn't a good thing because he's not going to be able to catch these cavalry, but it seems that he thought he could, and he had these thorough spears here to help. But that's not going to happen. They're not going to have a cavalry engagement there. But I am trying to render this video here differently. If you guys have noticed on several channels, I know I talked to Indie Pride from Milk and Cookies Total War about this very recently. So videos, you guys are probably used to, those of you that have seen my videos before, my videos are generally pretty high quality. You know, all of them are 1080p, and they generally look really nice, very close to what I actually see in the game. Recently, with the new YouTube updates, YouTube has changed how they compress the video files, and they compress the heck out of the files, and you can see the skirmishing going on here. Also the Egyptian Hellenic Royal Guard starting to move forward and be more aggressive. But they compress the heck out of the video files, so I'm trying a different rendering setting to try to negate what has been happening, which is the video will look fine when I'm right here, and right when I start moving, it'll get really pixelated, and the overall quality has just gone down on videos with the new YouTube settings. But anyways, that's just a quick note on that. You guys can see here the skirmish going, slingers and archers now in the back. And all of these Hellenic Royal Guard have moved forward and are now lined up, and there they go. They are going to start advancing down this line, and you guys can see moving forward there, all the phalanxes colliding. Meanwhile, also on the flanks over here, Egypt has a pretty strong base against this cavalry, but on the left, Epirus here is definitely starting to flank with this Aspis and Hellenic Royal Cavalry. Sorry, I mixed up those 2. Companion cavalry. Over here on either flank, the Royal Peltists are going to be charging into the Hoplites of Epirus. And same thing over here. So you can see those guys duking out. Look at this. Some of these guys are ridiculously bloody. This blood mod definitely is different than the one in Shogun Total War, but it is no less obnoxious. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but definitely ridiculously bloody here. And you can see the Egyptian phalanxes have actually pretty much punched through the lines of Epirus here. So those guys are moving on. Now some of these phalanx units are moving back towards this cavalry, which is fighting one of these thorough spear units. These guys are trying to hold out against this Aspis companion cavalry and the Hellenic Royal Guard Cav, or Royal Cavalry, my bad. And these guys broke off here and are now charging into the back of these Royal Peltists, doing massive amounts of damage, but luckily for these guys, they managed to rout these hoplites right then, so they're going to be able to turn and fight those cavalry. Doesn't necessarily mean they will win, but they are going to have a better shot than being trapped between two units. And over here, this Hellenic Royal Cavalry is getting absolutely surrounded and destroyed by Royal Peltists, Ptolemaic Cavalry, and now a thorough spear. And adding to that sandwich, here comes the Aspis Companion Cavalry and the other Aspis Companion Cavalry. So this is turning into a big mosh pit fight right here. You guys can see what was the battle lines of the pike phalanxes, and Egypt getting the upper hand now. Some of these phalanxes now turning to take on some of these Rhodian slingers. They killed off the Epiran general here in another phalanx fight. And now you've got more Hellenic Royal Guard moving forward into this giant fray over here and off this way. It's still just that Hellenic Royal Guard Cav versus the Royal Peltists. So there's the overhead. You can see the center of Epirus here has been blown out, and it's pretty much just his cavalry that he has left. Here's one of the phalanx units. You can see those Aspis Companion Cavalry getting out of that fight for the moment as these guys begin to advance in, and the Hellenic Companion Cavalry in here is going to get caught. Aspis Companion Cavalry. Guys, I am really mixing up the names this battle on the cavalry. For some reason, getting them messed up. Here's the Hellenic Royal Cavalry, and they are fighting these Royal Peltists. So overall, at this point in time, right now, it seems for sure that Egypt here has the advantage. Dixiedog is trying to come back with it by maneuvering his cavalry and getting good angles. The thing he does have going for him, as you can see, is that these phalanx units are really depleted. We'll see if these cavalry see he's going to turn away from that phalanx. Charging head-on into that is bad. And this unit way down here is getting really tired chasing these Rhodian slingers, which are actually doing a good job just isolating these guys, taking them from the battle. And these Ptolemaic cavalry are heading over that way to help fight them. On their tails are the Aspis Companion Cavalry. And over here, this other Aspis Companion Cavalry is still holding on, doing a lot of damage, but at this point, they're not going to be able to single-handedly take out all of these guys over here. So this unit, at least, is in a little bit of trouble. You can see that guy getting stabbed and taken out there. All of these guys starting to get pretty bloody as they've been fighting for a while. Somehow this guy made it out clean there. And you can see this phalanx here in the back. These guys really should have, both these units should have moved in right then and ended this cavalry unit, because these guys are actually going to be able to take out those two units and escape here. So you can see them running off, and the remains of these guys with their heads low, defeated, running away. So now way down here, it is the Ptolemaic Cavalry versus the Aspis Companion Cav. The Aspis Companion Cav is much more fresh, and by that, these guys are actually labeled as fresh. These guys are tired, but they are a much more full unit. Look at this guy reaching out his hand, trying to survive. That is not going to happen. And yes, that poor soldier fighting for another chance, and I think that's it. He gave up. So that is the end of that man. So now at this point, you guys can see this battle is actually fairly close. There are these 3 units here. One of them's a Royal Peltis. The other 2 are Hellenic Royal Guard. That does not bode well for Dixiedog, as Corburllo here does have the spear units, the phalanxes. But then, of course, these cavalry, if they do get a good charge at the right angle, can deal significant damage and possibly with the morale bonuses end up winning. Here you guys can just see the bloody remains of this fight. Here is a pretty much straight line of dead, as it was just a absolutely brutal phalanx combat line, just simply trying to overpower the other phalanx. No real flanking there, just head to head. And Egypt got the upper hand in that fight there. So these guys over here are going to form kind of a little triangle wedge formation here in a second. And there you go. So basically trying to cover all angles. This unit here of Royal Peltis is the weak link. They are a very heavy unit, and they can withstand a charge, but they are definitely a lot weaker against cavalry, at least head-on, than these Hellenic Royal Guard here. Any cav charge into the front of these guys is going to get all of that cavalry killed. Even this tiny unit here, just the pikes, will not bode well for that cavalry. So right now, Dixiedog's got his cavalry sitting here, most likely to rest them up, because over here Corburllo is not going to advance. That would be suicide for him. In all honesty, while this may look like a new box kind of tactic, it is the best thing that he can do. To advance on the cavalry right now would get him spread out and open him up to multiple angles of attack. That is not what he wants. That is what will cost him the battle. So now that these guys are a little bit more rested, they're going to start moving around here, and you can see Corburllo's trying to shift these units to face them, and it's just going to be a game of this cavalry moving around using their mobility, trying to open up a gap. And here one of the horses accidentally running into a pike there, and that's the end of that guy. So he's going to go on. This horse is over here just checking out what's going on. You can see these guys here analyzing their opponent. Those guys getting pumped up over there. You can see them bashing their shields. And right there, he's going to go in for a charge. That was a really nice charge, because as you can see, the pikes were up, they were in a bad position, and the charge actually did get in and do some damage. But now these guys have recovered. They've got their pikes down, and these cavalry are not going to have much of a chance against that. And these guys here did get caught head-on by the pikes. You can see that's what happens. The cavalry pretty much impales themselves. So this here is going to be the end of this. The cavalry withdrew a little bit. This unit goes ahead and routes. This other Aspis companion cavalry does get a nice charge into the back here, and that guy's cutting people down. But these guys are going to go ahead and route too. So good game to both players. I believe it was Dixiedog that had a YouTube channel. I am not 100% certain on that, but I know one of the people in this battle did. The link to their channel will be in the description if you want to go check that out. But thank you to Dixiedog for sending me this replay. Good game to both of you guys. Excited to see Corburllo here in the next round, and I believe he's fighting Exotic Tactics in the next round, who you guys saw in the first replay. But as you can see there, costly enemy victory. Egypt taking that one. Very, very close battle right down to the end there. Definitely some mistakes on both sides. Quick analysis of the battle. What Egypt could have done a little better is not quite chasing as hard on those slingers. simply because he had the enemy cavalry wrapped up. He could have moved in and killed them, and you guys saw there was a little bit of a micro lapse there. So he could have won by a little bit more, just ignoring those slingers for a second to quickly finish off the cavalry, as is easy to do with the pikes. And his Ptolemaic cavalry could have actually chased down those slingers rather than been in the cavalry engagement where they were caught up against spears. And Epirus here could have been a little bit more aggressive with the cavalry early on. Had they gotten into the back of some of that pike versus pike action in the middle, that could have changed it and ended this battle with a different result there. But either way, once again, great game to go both players. Thank you guys for participating. Hopefully this video looks a little better. Hopefully the new rendering settings help with YouTube's stupidity there. But once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time with another match from the tournament.